What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today we've got a video about a topic that I've wanted to talk about for a few days now, and it has to do with the Winnipeg Jets injuries up front. So obviously at the beginning of the year, Morgan Barron had to have wrist surgery, out about 5 weeks. He is on track to return soon, but however right now, Mason Appleton has a freak injury. He was playing on the top line, and playing not terrible by the way either, and now, Nick Ehlers needs sports hernia surgery, and that's going to keep him out for a long time, probably February or March. And the Jets just can't go that long without Nick Ehlers if they want to sustain the success. I don't think that Sam Gagner is the guy on the first line there. Sure, he's fine, but it's a lot like the Appleton situation, where he's been okay some games, but he's definitely not a top-line player, and you're not going to continue the success that you would with a guy like Ehlers or maybe somebody that's better suited for the top six. So with that said, in this video we're going to be looking at some of the players that I would think that the Jets could be looking at, and just some stuff that makes sense in my opinion. With the Jets logjam on defense, I would imagine that a defenseman would be going the other way, maybe throw a pick in there as well. But without further ado, let's get on into who I believe would be good fits for the Jets. My number one personal favorite option that I could definitely see getting done is the Jets trading a defenseman for Conor Garland. The Vancouver Canucks are a team that have started off slow this season, and it's been made clear that really nobody besides Quinn Hughes and Elias Pettersson are safe from being traded. Everybody is available pretty much whenever, so I wouldn't be shocked if the Jets are giving Vancouver a call. This is a team that's looking to move guys. Conor Garland maybe not fitting in as well as originally thought over there in Vancouver, but I think he would be the perfect fit with the Jets, and I do believe that he could be a really nice fit with Kyle Connor and Mark Scheifele. Conor Garland is a guy that really can do it all. He's not just a one-trick pony. He's not just a scorer. He's not just, a forechecker or anything like that. He does everything really good, and he's a guy that can put the puck in the back of the net. He's a guy that can definitely hold his own in a top six. His numbers aren't jumping off the page this year, and this makes me think that the Canucks would be that much more willing to try to move him, as he's only got 3 goals, 6 assists for 9 points in only 17 games played so far this season. So I do think that Conor Garland could be a really nice fit with the Winnipeg Jets, and I do think that he could bounce back playing big minutes with really, really good players. And to boot with Conor Garland, he's locked up for the next 4 seasons at $4.95 million. He's only 26 years old, and that takes him right up until the 2026-2027 season, where he would be, 30 or just turning 31. And I think that would be a great contract for the Jets to swallow. Only $5 million for a guy that could definitely probably put up 50 to 60 points a year for you. I think that's a really good deal if the Jets were able to swing it. We'll have to see what happens, but I would definitely love Conor Garland on this team. I think he just brings so much that the Jets are missing, and he brings that speed element as well that I think the Jets are desperately looking for. With Nick Ehlers being out, there isn't really a ton of fast guys on this team outside of, obviously Kyle Connor's fast, Mark Scheifele's pretty quick, Axel Johnson-Fajalbi is a really fast guy, but outside of that, there's really just not a lot of speed in this lineup, just a lot of okay skaters, and I think that Conor Garland would bring a big boost in all departments for the Jets. Moving on to the second nominee that I think the Jets should be sniffing around for is Maple Leafs prospect Nicholas Robertson, who has been playing really well at the NHL level, but the Leafs just aren't playing him. He had a big game earlier on in this year where he scored 2 goals, including the winner, if I'm remembering that right, for Toronto, and they just really haven't wanted to play him. He's been scratched for quite a few games now, and he's got 5 points in 10 games, 2 goals, 3 assists, and he's a real good player that I think could be developing here in the NHL, that I think needs to develop in the NHL. I don't think that his game is going to improve much more in the AHL as it stands right now. And, we've already seen that he's a great fit with the Leafs, and if they aren't playing him, I wonder if they would be open to trading him. And just because they have so many problems on defense right now, with Jake Muzzin being out for so long, TJ Brody currently hurt, lots of guys dealing with injury issues, I wonder if they'd be willing to trade a guy like Nick Robertson for a defenseman. I'd be interested to see, with the Jets having so many defensemen and the Leafs obviously needing a defenseman very badly right now, if they were able to swing a deal. I wonder how much the Leafs value a guy like Brendan Dillon, maybe a guy like Dylan DeMello. Both guys would be a massive upgrade to their top fours, and I think could help the Leafs get to where they want to go, maybe get through that first round. But obviously Nick Robertson's a really good prospect. I'm sure they value him a lot, and I'm sure a package would have to be pretty substantial to pry him out of Toronto. But I do think that it would be a little bit of an interesting move for the Jets. I think that Nick Robertson is a guy that could definitely grow playing with a guy like Pierre-Luc Dubois, Cole Perfetti as well. Cole Perfetti can dish it to just about anyone. He's got laser vision, man. He's so good. I wonder how good those guys would be together. Obviously, probably not the guy that the Jets are super focused on at the moment. I'd imagine they're looking for more of an experienced guy that's been in the league for at least a few years. But I think this is a really fun idea. And if the Jets swung a deal with a defenseman for Nick Robertson, I think I'd be all in on it. It would be a really interesting move, and I'd love to see how that would turn out. I don't think that's something that's, very likely to happen or anything, but just a fun proposal that I thought could make some sense for the Jets and the Leafs both. Now moving on to my final player that I think the Jets should be sniffing around for is Matthew Joseph from the Ottawa Senators. I think Joseph is a really interesting player just because of how good he is in pretty much all areas of the ice. He can score, he can dish the puck, he can go in the corners, he can kill penalties, and he's probably a guy that you can put on your second power play. And I just think that he would be a really nice fit for the Jets. He's a pretty quick guy as well, so I think that he would fix a little bit of the speed problem. And being so young and being under contract for the next 4 seasons at just under $3 million is a really, really nice contract considering how young he is. And I really do believe that if the Jets were able to bring him in there, I do think that he would be a big upgrade to the middle six of this team, and maybe the kind of move that we were hoping for in the offseason to shore up the forward core. Ottawa does need a right defenseman really badly. If you look at their defensemen right now, they've got... it's looking rough here, guys. It's Jake Sanderson, Travis Hamonic, Artem Zub. Obviously, they do have Thomas Chabot, but he's currently injured. There's just a lot of guys on this team that aren't very good and probably over the hill in terms of production, like Nick Holden. Obviously Travis Hamonic's up there in age. These guys aren't what they used to be, and the Sens desperately need help on the right side of the defense. I wonder if the Jets would look at maybe moving Nate Schmidt, who, could definitely help out and grow players such as Jake Sanderson, who's obviously a super good young defenseman over there in Ottawa. So I do think that Schmidt could be a help there. The Jets would lose, that $6 million that Nate Schmidt makes, and maybe open up more possibilities towards the trade deadline while filling a need. But you look at guys like maybe Dylan DeMello that could be on the block. Right now he's injured. I don't think the Jets are actively shopping him or anything, and I don't think they really should be. I think DeMello's a really solid defenseman that's maybe overlooked a little bit. However, with that said, if they do make this move to bring in a forward such as Matthew Joseph, I do think that it's a pretty fair trade, all things considered. Obviously you can throw picks or prospects in there as well if you want to make it a bigger deal, or if one team doesn't think that it's fair enough, right? But I do think that it would make sense, as the Ottawa Senators desperately need a defenseman. They've been looking for a defenseman all offseason, and maybe they have one here with the logjam in Winnipeg. But with all that said, guys, that's all that I've got for this video. I'd love to hear your trade proposals down in the comments down below. Do you think the Jets should be looking for a forward on the market, and who do you think that should be? Is it anybody that I mentioned here, or is it somebody totally off the board that you think the Jets should be looking at? I'd love to hear from you guys down below. Leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and I will see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, guys. See you later. Bye-bye.